Roger, go for deploy.
Hey there, welcome back to Adventure Fit Radio. We have something special for you guys today. We've got Rob Forte. Rob Forte, 5-time CrossFit Games athlete, multiple-time Australian regional winner, 2-time gym owner, entrepreneur. Rob's done it all, guys. He's at the head of the game. He's at the top. He's at the pinnacle. And we try and pick his brain and find out what makes him tick, find out his training practices, his nutrition practices, his mindset practices. If you're a CrossFitter and you want to step up your game, or you just want to know how some of the most professional athletes in Australia behave, this is the podcast you want to listen to. Rob is a scientist. He's a freak. He's an all-around good guy. So hopefully you guys will get a kick out of this like we did. But before we go into our show, we're going to have to thank all of our sponsors. These guys that we're thanking with our sponsors, guys, we wouldn't have been able to have this podcast if it wasn't for them. We raised a bunch of money for our podcast with our Kickstarter campaign, and it was these guys that got behind us and backed us most. So welcome to the fold, Atlanta Orchards. So, Atlanta Orchards, Kanzi and Green Star apples, trialled in Australia and now in commercial production. Both are bred in Belgium and now growing across the country, including at Atlanta Orchards. The apples are green, sweet, juicy, and have a thin layer of the highest vitamin C content of any apple, which helps them stay naturally white for days after cutting. The Kanzi apple is the #1 apple sold in Europe and is bright red and crunchy with a long shelf life, a cross between a Gala and a Braeburn apple. Green Stars are the first 100% non-browning apples and are a cross between a Granny Smith and a Delbera Stivali apple. So, for all your apples, go to your local greengrocer and ask for Atlanta, Kanzi, and Green Star apples. That's also my uncle's business and my grandfather's before him and my great-grandfather before him. So, support the family. Also, we'd like to thank Loxam Solutions. Loxam Solutions are a boutique consulting and business support company focused on business consulting and commercial services. The key to their success has been through the application of a pragmatic approach combined with entrepreneurial spirit to achieve their clients' outcomes. Their philosophy is simple: deliver well-defined, measurable business outcomes to their clients through the engagement of subject matter experts with real-world experience. Services include business consulting, costings, business structure, business startup advice, business plan development, review of the business plan, adaptation of the business plan, organizational review and restructure, operational review and restructure, governance, corporate and or operational, coaching and mentoring, project management, financial management. They do it all, guys. So, they can be found at www.loxamsolutions.com.au. We also would like to thank NDO Sups, No Days Off Supplements. No Days Off Supplements is a newly formed company that aspires to build a trusted brand by having honesty, integrity, and loyalty as the cornerstones of their relationship with all their stakeholders. From suppliers to customers to all their sponsored athletes and individuals as well, they will work hard to ensure all receive the utmost attention and support, and that harmonious relationship and mutually beneficial outcomes are achieved by all parties. The community was formed with the vision of offering great products and sound information that will benefit its customers and community at large. No Days Off Supplements for all your supplement needs. If you guys want to get behind No Days Off Supplements, check out ndosups.com and always use ADVF Radio at checkout to get 10% off. Thank you, NDO Sups. And I always suck at the last ad, which is the Adventure Fit Travel ad. Adventure Fit Travel is my baby, is my business. We are an adventure travel company for the fitness community. If you guys want to come away, train every day, do yoga, crazy adventures, climb glaciers, whitewater raft, downhill mountain bike, all the good stuff. You guys want to come with Adventure Fit Travel. We've got lots of cool stuff coming up. We're about to release our Kokoda Trek trip for Anzac Day of next year. That one will be a big one for Australians and Kiwis. All you guys in the States, look into it. It'll be a really good pilgrimage for us from Australia. So that's going to be very exciting. We're going to be releasing that in the next couple of days. You guys want any information about our trips, head to www.adventurefittravel.com and jump on the mailing list. We've also got 40 bloggers who pump out great content. We've got this podcast. We've also got our trips, so make sure you get onto adventurefittravel.com and join the mailing list. And if you do join the mailing list, you also get a sneaky $250 voucher to use on any trip that we list this year and next. So, that's enough from me. How about we introduce you guys to Mr. Roberto Forte. Welcome to Adventure Fit Radio. We're down today, CrossFit Frankston, Reebok CrossFit Frankston, with 4-time Games competitor. 5-time Games competitor.
Come on, Bill. Come on.
I'm going to start. Should I start it again?
No. Keep going, mate. You've ruined it.
I've got Rob on my right, with Mac on my right also, and Tommy as usual, who's going to start us off with Tommy's tribute, a little song devoted to Rob Forte.
Mr. Rob Forte. Okay. A little bit nervous here. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm a 6. But Mac is pointing at something. Yep. Thanks, mate. Make sure I record this so no one ever forgets this. All right. This is a Fire and Rain. So the James Taylor song, classic tune. Here we go.
Never heard of it.
Just yesterday week, I found out we'd be talking to Rob. I spent the whole week wondering if I could call him Bob. Now I'm excited, 'cause I'm sitting here with the man. And all I want to do is eat some candy with him in his van. Well, I've seen him on the ESPN. I've seen him compete and I saw him on the tube. He's a man I look up to when I'm in the gym. But then I look in the mirror and I'll always be a bin. There we go.
Yeah.
Nice.
Nice one. Tommy's
Very good.
tribute. Beautiful stuff. So, I just introduced you as Rob Forte.
Yep.
Tommy's started us off with a tribute to Rob Forte. Let's get to the fucking bottom of this right now. How do you pronounce your name?
Forte.
Boom! Yes, I knew it.
But if I had said Forte, it wouldn't have worked with the song.
Well, there you go. Take note, ESPN commentators. It's Forte.
Either
Forte.
either. Doesn't
Bobby
matter.
Bob Forte?
Bobby Forte.
Yep.
Do you
Bob.
go by Bob?
No one really calls me Bob. Unless I'm building something. It's Bob the Builder.
Yeah.
there
Do
we
you
are.
go by Dickhead often, Max?
Every time, but right now.
Alrighty. So tell us about what it's like, Rob, to compete at the Games. There's going to be a lot of CrossFitters listening to this podcast. Obviously, you're a 5-time veteran. How does it feel to be up on the big stage?
It's definitely different, especially the first time I did it. It's a much bigger stage than competing at regionals, competing in your own gym during the Open. So, and also seeing the guys that you watch on YouTube, it's a little bit intimidating being lined up next to them and
Sure.
seeing them online all the time. Those things probably play around with the mental side a little bit. But the last couple of years, that hasn't really set in as much because I guess you're used to the environment, used to that. Small things have changed, but over the last 5 years, there have been small things. So from 2011 till now, it's a big difference. But for me, it's been like little changes along the way. So
For sure.
And
Those-
how old were you in 2011?
good question.
Well,
It's
how old are
5
you
years
now?
ago, 29, so 24.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Excellent.
24.
I imagine the nerves are probably calm considering you've been there 5 years. You're probably one of those guys now. Do you know what I mean? There's a lot of younger guys
Yeah.
coming through that would have seen you on ESPN for a number of years,
Yeah.
you know, and always winning the Australian regional. You're probably in the shoes of the people you were looking up to, I would imagine, to a lot.
Yeah, I think you can definitely see it in the guys that are just there for the first time, not really sure where to go to and how it all works, and asking a few questions. And everyone's pretty friendly. Like, we're all competing against each other, but everyone's still happy to help each other out. And
You don't try and psych them out at all.
not really. That's I do that a little bit in our regional, but
Right.
not
give
really
me
there.
give me some inside goss. What do you do?
Yeah.
Oh, if I see someone struggling with something, I'll like take the piss a little bit, or just get stuck into them a little bit in the warm up
Kick him in
area.
the shins.
just to try and get in their heads a little bit.
Right.
But that happens with everything.
So you do that with like your major competitors, or you just pick it on the young kids?
Bit of both.
And who gives it to you?
uh,
Who's notorious for just trying to get in
CJ
your
Walker is a fair piss taker and doesn't mind giving you a bit of shit, and Chris Hogan's the same.
head? Yeah. Is that just them though, just having some shit, or are they actually trying to get in your head and trying to knock you down?
Oh, just mucking around, just being guys, I guess.
Yeah.
Just trying to make it a little bit more fun and
Yeah. So it's probably
trying to
lighthearted,
just
more
take the edge
lighthearted.
off a little bit. Everyone's sort of serious and just taking the edge off a little bit.
Yeah.
Remember I did that at Schwartz's challenge. Luke McMahon was doing deadlifts, and I was like, "Hey, Luke, you got to get a little bit lower." He's looked at me like, "What the fuck's he talking about?" I'm like, "Get a bit lower." And see, I think Keegan's like, "Oh, don't worry about him. He's just being an idiot."
Yeah, sweet. So you've said the games have changed a lot in the last couple of years. What have been the things you've had to keep up with? You've had to change with the way the games.
I think the training volume's increased over the years. So 2011, I could just train, an hour a day and just work on some weaknesses in between. And now it's more like 3 hours and a lot of, I guess, self-education between that and a bit more stretching, mobility stuff. So there's a lot more hours that goes into it. And trying to be smarter with what I'm doing as well. So that time that I put into it is all good stuff. It's not just wasted stuff or something I'm just playing around with. So I think definitely the hours put in is probably the biggest thing.
For sure.
Do you go 3 hours in one hit, or if you find it's not quality, you walk away and come back for another hour? Or
I'll normally just do it all in one hit just because of everything else I got to fit in the day, and I find I work better just going back to back to back. And if I feel like I've got more energy towards the end of the week, I'll use that and just keep doing stuff.
Cool.
So like, I haven't hit that, I feel like doing more, I'm gonna do that. Okay, I still feel like I've got a bit more in me, I'm gonna do that. So I usually lately I've been doing a little bit of programming on the fly as well, so just sort of working it out and figuring out what I'm going to do. I've got a set structure, but I'll just figure it out along the way and go by feel.
day by day to see how you recovered, see what you haven't hit, and if you feel like squatting, you will. If you really don't want to squat, you won't.
Yeah, if I plan something out for today and I'm not feeling like my body's ready for it, I'm not feeling up to it mentally, I'll change it up, might make it a partner workout or do something where I'm still sort of getting the same stimulus from it, but just doing it a different way.
Yep.
So would you say that is your strength more structured though? So you're obviously, do you have a pretty structured lifting and strength program, and then the WODs that you do, the heart rate and the intensity is just the stuff that you vary? Is that how it works, or?
Yeah, it's pretty much spot on. Have a structure of what I'll do strength wise, and then even that though, if I'm supposed to hit a 1 rep, I probably won't if I'm not feeling up to it or it's not there. I'll change that around a little bit, but the WODs, definitely. If I'm feeling like mentally I'm just going to coast through the workout, I'll make it a partner one where I'll bring intensity because I'm doing it with somebody else.
Yeah, that's good.
I'll still make it hard, but it'll bring more out of my I guess the time that I'm putting in.
For sure. Probably give you a little bit of a mental break as well, doing it with someone else, and there's more, not that you're ever laughing during a WOD, but it's much more fun than grinding it out and putting yourself, up against it.
I definitely fall back on that a lot.
Do you target energy systems like, this week it's going to be 80-90% of max heart rate, and you vary it that way, or how do you go about your conditioning?
Not really. I don't get into it that deep. Obviously, I know those things. I know my body. I know where my weaknesses lie. So I'll try to sort of cover off on everything as much as possible, especially now. For me, shorter workouts, moving faster was my problem, where I'd sort of move at a constant pace for a longer period of time. And when you've got a sub 5 minute event, that doesn't work too well for you these days. It was okay 3 years ago, but now if you're resting or if you're coasting, you're going to fall behind. So I sort of needed to train myself to move faster for those shorter periods of time. And then last year I didn't really hit anything long, and I felt like I suffered there. So now trying to take that all-round approach.
Yep.
So I sort of feel like I've brought myself up there and sort of dropped off a little here, but now I can sort of do a bit of everything and sort of keep it up.
And do you train for regionals, or are you training for the games now that there's it's more competitive field? Are you doing more odd object stuff because that's where the games sort of lie, or are you still trying to make sure you're training for regionals right now and then you worry about the games when you qualify?
So this year I've had the most rest that I've ever had, and I feel much better for it.
Mhm.
I had a niggly shoulder for about 18 months, and then after the games I decided to have a couple of months of just back everything right off, and that worked really well for me. I hadn't had any more than, say, 5 days off the previous 5 years.
Wow.
Jesus Christ.
So
I've had 5 days off this week.
so that
You are a
was
bit.
that was hard for me to do, to
Yeah.
back it off. But after doing it, I feel...
You feel like you should have been doing it 5 years ago?
Yeah, I
To some
feel like
degree?
having more of those would have helped me.
Yeah.
Things
sure.
to settle, and just even having breaks from certain movements like smashing muscle up, smashing handstand push-ups, having a break from those sort of movements, then when you go back to it, you actually get a bit of an improvement.
Yep.
So that, I think that constantly varied part plays a massive role. So to go back to your question, I'm training to try and be better as an athlete. I'm not training for the game specifically, training to be better. I've just shifted my mindset over the years. The first couple of years it was trying to prove a point that I could get there, and then once you achieve that, it's like, okay, what now? It's, yeah, you want to win, but it's hard to keep that as your motivation, because it feels like every day in training is just a chore and a grind. So I changed it to, I'm just going to get a bunch of guys around, enjoy my training, do things that I'm naturally don't like losing or being bad at something, so I'll naturally work on my weaknesses. So that's something that I don't avoid. So I also throw that stuff in, but just enjoy my training, day-to-day training, and I want to be better. I want to make sure that what I'm doing is going to get me to a new PB on my lifts, or get me faster at Fran, get me all those things, which in turn gets you better at the games,
Yeah,
at
absolutely.
regional. So
Yeah.
it's just a different way for
That's
me to
where
think
I,
about it, and I feel like I can train this way forever.
Yeah, that's where I stuffed up. I, like yourself, I like to target my weaknesses and don't like to suck at anything. So I used to write a book or write a journal of my training, and I used to, at the start of each week, just think about what would I hate to see.
Yeah.
And I used to write that, and I used to wake up, and my warm-ups were what I would hate to see because I suck at it.
Yeah.
And in the
You
end...
guys are mentally tough.
Well, here's
the
the
opposite of
story.
me again. I'll just snatch every day. That's the only thing I'm good at.
4
I'm a
years
weightlifter.
later, I, it just got to me, just the negativity of the sport. I didn't have positive people around me because I was always by myself. And then took 3 months off, and like you said, you didn't do muscle ups or handstand push-ups. Took 3 months off, and then came back. First workout, I PB'd my muscle ups.
Yeah.
Just sleep at my clinic jerk. So once you shifted that mindset into, I'm going to do this for way of life now, and I'm going to do this because I absolutely love this.
Yeah.
Did you find that you really started to go leaps and bounds in your improvement in training?
Yeah.
And probably your scores and your PBs?
Yeah, definitely. It's a more sustainable approach, so you can rock up every day and enjoy the process rather than just one weekend or a couple of weekends of the year when you're actually competing. Where I enjoy the training more than I do competing now.
Yeah.
So for me, I feel like I can keep doing it and keep getting better that way. And also having that break, it was easier mentally to push myself in a workout because I missed it. So having more of those breaks is what I'm gonna structure into this game season as well. So I feel like I want to push myself and get that intensity. I felt like not a complete break, but just back off the volume. Maybe add a little bit more lifting and just do some more fun stuff where you're maybe not pushing yourself quite as hard, but just a break mentally.
Yep.
And then you feel like you can push yourself leading into regionals and the games again.
Yep.
Rather than pushing yourself from January all the way through to the start of August.
Too long of a
it's hard.
season.
Yeah.
Too long of a season when you're doing 6 days a week, or for you, you've only had 5 rest days in 5 years. 7
Yeah.
days a week.
It's hard to it's hard to keep backing it up. Not saying that you can't do it, but when you're doing it for a long time, it's very hard. That's
for
why
sure.
I think some people are there for a couple of years and then drop off just because of that mindset's just
Yeah,
needs a
rather
little
than
bit of a shift.
rather than changing their mindset and tapering it off, they've just dropped off completely. You mean?
Yeah.
You've almost got to
sure.
periodise your mindset in a sense, don't you?
Yeah.
That's a new book title, I reckon. Tom Ahern.
What
Yeah.
Just gonna plug
what
myself.
started the this process or that shift in mindset? Did you have a breakdown and go, I need to change something, or did someone plant an idea into your head?
Well, I'm always looking at different things, like what other people are doing, what other athletes are doing, and how they've sort of got through their things. But I just sort of, it was in 2012, got back from the games and just didn't enjoy it at all. And then I just started training with my mates and stuff, and because I was always training on my own, so I got a few people to train with. They weren't
Hard to
necessarily
train on your own.
they weren't necessarily
hard.
pushing me, but it was good to just go through that with somebody else. And
Bit of banter in
Weren't
between
pushing me.
sets.
I was flogging him every day. We're not mates anymore.
That was Dad.
Hey, I want to touch on something that you spoke about just earlier, and that was you feel like one of the things that you needed was to go faster, and obviously one of your weaknesses was the shorter forms of the sport, the shorter workouts.
Yeah.
Do you think, my hypothesis is that grid has had an effect on the games athletes? So do you think, obviously you look at the guys that have performed really well and improved in the last season was Khan Porter and Ben Garrard, who have both spent a lot of time working that high rep, fast, and that mindset change of being able to go balls to the wall, red line from the start.
Yeah.
Do you think that's why those guys improved, and do you think there's a correlation there?
Yeah, I think they're both great athletes, and
Yeah, for sure.
but having those pieces and the importance of those pieces in their sport or that arena, definitely, especially these days where it's got to be spectator friendly as well, which is the short, fast stuff. That's why we're seeing more of that. At regionals, we had our shortest event ever last year, which was 90 seconds, 2 minutes.
Was that the clean one?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the
How
muscle
good was
up
that?
clean one.
Yeah, and that's the one Ben Garrard got himself
Yes.
in games on.
Everyone enjoys watching that.
Yeah.
Like, it's just exciting to watch. So I think we'll see more of that stuff where you go back a couple of years ago and probably the shortest workout was maybe
Murph.
5 minutes, a deadlift box jump workout or something like
Yeah.
that. It's just completely different.
And the year before they had the pull-ups overhead squat? Was that the sprint?
Yeah.
Were they both the last workouts?
Yeah, that was the first style of that type of
yeah.
event. And then they did the same sort of event at the games that year, which was the fat rope. So it was for,
Thick and quick.
I think it was
Not
for,
bad.
Hey, fucking
I'm a
calm
loser.
down, mate.
4 rope climbs,
Get your hands out of your pants, Tommy.
3 overhead squats, similar sort of thing.
Yep.
And the snatch speed ladders, all that sort of stuff.
They're great to watch, though.
It's definitely showing
for
up
sure.
more, and that's where I saw the importance of needing to be a faster athlete, more explosive, and
For
that's
sure.
why I put the time in. So yeah, I definitely think that helps those guys, and I sort of looked into the grid test as well, just so I could see what they were doing, and
So this is
trying
the
to
draft combine stuff that they do.
yeah, they were doing sort of, I think it's max ground overhead in a certain amount of time, and just sort of getting those things and throwing those bits and pieces into my training as
Yeah.
well.
So you're getting the same stimulus as those guys are in
Yeah.
your own gym a lot of the
Yeah.
time anyway.
So I did that with a 60 kilo clean and jerk for a bit, and I did it with legless rope climbs. It's like 90 seconds max reps,
Yep.
or as many reps as I could do without putting the bar down, and just testing it week after week after week, and you get a massive improvement over 3-4 weeks. You just find the most efficient way to do it. You start to work out all the little details, and it helps a lot, even just mentally knowing that you can hang on.
Yeah. So when you say you find out the little things that you can do in certain aspects of a WOD, are you still learning? Do you
Yeah.
feel like you go to the games and every year you're still finding new ways to improve? I mean, obviously your fitness has to gradually improve and your efficiency, but are you still finding little tricks and little snippets of information that you can roll into your training?
Yeah, definitely. I'm definitely always thinking about what I can do better. That's just my mindset. Even in my spare time at home, I'll be on YouTube
You're a CrossFit nerd still.
watching stuff
great.
or learning.
Yeah,
That's what I do in my spare time.
for sure.
I try to make myself better. Even I've been motorbike riding lately. I've been YouTubing some technique stuff on that, and just everything I
60
do, I
thrusters
just
for time with your fucking KTM motorbike.
trying to just learn more. But at the games, I'm also don't get exposed to what I'm bad at. I sort of already know that going into it.
Yep.
So that doesn't happen as often, but seeing the other athletes and what they do, you pick up on that stuff.
So for
how
someone
they move
who's
faster,
shit, sorry to cut you off.
that's all right.
For someone who's coming up in the game, someone who wants to make it to regionals or wants to do well in the Open or make it to the games, what are your best resources? Do you find you get a lot of information from the journal? Do you read articles, or is it just mainly watching YouTube, watching countless hours of video on workout after workout?
So I used to read the journal a fair bit, but I like watching videos.
Yeah.
So I try and get on as many of those as possible. I watch the workout of the day. Like if Noah Olsen is doing it, I'll pick up on some things that he's doing.
Yep.
Okay, he didn't drop that bar at all, or he transitioning from a power clean into a thruster or something like that. You pick up on the little details. So just keeping an eye out, seeing what everybody's doing, not to put too much pressure on myself, but just to learn and try it and see if it works for me. And if it doesn't, I'll move on. If it works, I'll hang on to it. So that's just sort of what I do. And someone coming up through the ranks, I definitely look at who's at the top and watch them.
Yeah.
And learn off them. So I'd say to someone, if you want to learn Olympic weightlifting, watch Olympic weightlifters lift and understand the lifts. You have to understand it. You can't have someone standing there the whole time, every time you lift, telling you what to do. You need to feel it. You need to know what positions you're hitting. So when it happens, you can correct it at that time. And if you're going off feeling, you can make a change, not by what someone's telling you or seeing. So really learning the lifts is my biggest advice to somebody learning.
I actually, when I was CrossFitting, I'm obviously just weightlifting now, I got a lot myself from actually reading as well. I was the same. I'd watch countless video after video after video. But I like to just get into the real nuts and bolts of the theology behind some of the lifts.
Yeah.
And CrossFit Journal or just Facebook.
Yeah.
Facebook?
Like articles that are shared on Facebook.
You are a weird individual. I look at my mates.
Facebook does sound pretty fucking stupid. I'm like, fuck. Sweet. So what type of has anything happened to you behind the scenes at the games that you weren't expecting that's kind of like really thrown a spanner in the works or fucked you over? Some crazy injuries or something you weren't kind of ready for?
I was injured going to 2013 games. I was doing the Shankel complex.
Oh, yeah.
Which is a couple of
two shrugs? Two shrugs.
Couple of shrugs. Is it one hang? I haven't done it.
I think it's
three.
Shrugs.
3 shrugs, 2 hang cleans.
2 jerks.
2 jerks?
I think there's a double jerk.
I haven't done it since I fucked my wrist.
Never again.
So
how do you do it, Big Donny?
That was in 2013. So I wasn't really feeling it that day and still went for hang clean and caught my elbow on the clean, 135, and just got...
That'll fuck you.
Got crushed, and then I was leaving for the games the next week and just battling that wrist. So I had to strap it heavily and get through overhead squats and clean and jerks and all sorts of things at the game. So that wasn't ideal, and I didn't really want to make excuses going into it, saying, oh, guys, I'm going to do bad. I just hurt my wrist. I was just like, go in there, do what I can, and it is what it is.
Do you find many people at the games giving excuses, or you all have the same mentality, just it is what it is?
Some people do. But
you know how there's always just little bitches out there that have always got, even if they people, it's like, fucking my shoelace came undone or something like that, you know?
How's this little bitch
snatched 400 kilos.
Yeah.
You know, like, those
with
people
no
just
arms.
fucking piss me off. Anyway, just do the work.
I think it's...
Max, 6'8".
He's on,
He's
isn't he?
300 kilos. Hates little bitches.
What's in that water?
I think it's before a comp.
Fucking roid water. You know they got that fat water now?
What's that?
You know they got that fat water?
Big amps?
Bulletproof coffee brought out that fat water.
Oh,
Like
with MTC or something.
You're on the roid water.
It's not bad.
The angry water.
What'd you say? Sorry, where were we?
Sorry.
So I think the people that put excuses out there before it's even started are the ones that just sort of setting themselves up for failure, I guess. Where everyone sort of deals with little niggles all the time.
Yeah.
Everyone's got something that they've got to deal with in competition or in the lead up. But I think in that week or two leading up to a comp, people are a lot more sensitive to those things. I think you've got those things all the time, but you're a lot more sensitive because you're like, oh, why is this happening now?
You
I've got a comp coming up. I want to feel. So they're a lot more sensitive, and then there's more things going on in their head. So those excuses, or they're just, I guess, scared to maybe fail or do bad. So that's just their way of accepting that they're going to do bad instead of just put it aside, do what you can.
Yeah.
And
So they're giving themselves an out.
yeah, I guess so.
I guess
it's just
that's
easier mentally to deal with than to
Yeah.
just go no, I'm fine. I'm going to keep
Yeah.
at it.
And I
Or
think,
just realising that they're not good enough. Sorry to cut you off.
Sorry. Yeah, no, I was just going to say, I think that's probably a really good thing for you to hear as a rival competitor when someone's saying, oh, I fucked my wrist, all this and that. You already know you've pretty much got them won.
Yeah.
You can just sort of, I guess, getting back to that sort of shit-talking stuff.
Yeah.
My guess is you'd be, you try to bring it up a lot and create that mindset in their space that, they are injured and they can't do this. And
Yeah, exactly.
you've already got them won.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll definitely, as a competitor, you would play on that if you knew it. You'd be like, oh, you're going to struggle with this one a little bit.
Yeah.
Overhead squats. So, yeah.
Little bitch.
Hey, you just found fat water, by the way. The thing, a $3.95 bottle of water mixed with fat, a sweetener, and some flavours. It's a genuine thing.
Yeah, it's genuine.
Yeah, I didn't know
Not
that.
just making it up.
Also, bamboo water is now a thing.
Steroid water was made up, actually.
Steroid water was made a thing, not bamboo water.
Anyway, moving on.
Talking of steroids, let's move on to some controversial stuff at the games. Steroids at the games. What is it happening? What's your view on all that?
I think it's definitely out there, but in my opinion, I think it's more happening for the guys that want to get there. So the guys that are just on that cusp and want to get there and trying to find that quick fix, easy fix. To me, I've seen the guys at the top sort of stay at the top for a while, and they're sort of naturally gifted athletes. I think some people in my gym work their fucking asses off, work so hard, but they're still, average sort of level CrossFitter. So I think genetics definitely plays a massive part. Not saying that someone can't achieve something. I'm not putting that out there. But I know so many people that work their asses off, and there's other people that work just as hard but are up here compared to somebody that does just as much work, works just as hard, does all the right things, but genetically aren't.
Is it that natural ability?
Yeah, I think that plays a massive part, and I think the people at top have been there for a while, and the veterans in the sport, people just say they're using stuff rather than just because they're that much better than them, but they're doing the same work. I think that's the difference. I think it's in the sport, but I don't think it's all the top level athletes are doing it. I don't know whether any top level athletes are doing it. I know the testing is out there, random testing. I know not everybody is getting random tested. We get tested at regionals games, but not all year.
So what is can you explain to the listeners, and I actually want to know myself because I'm not across it, what is the protocol for testing? How's it work? So
at regionals, the top four or five get tested.
Well, if there's 5 going, do all 5 get tested then?
Yeah, I think now it's because there's 5. It's top 5.
Yep.
I think previous was 4 plus a random. So
Yep.
I think now it's 5 plus a random. At the regionals and the teams, it's a couple of team members out of the qualifying teams. Not the whole team gets tested. It's just randomly they pick a couple of team members, and so that happens for everybody that qualifies. And then at the games, it's random throughout the weekend, depending on your place. So they'll just randomly pick numbers, and if you're in that place, you get tested. So you can get tested twice in one day if your number shows up again.
Or you
if
could
you
get
move
tested.
place.
Oh, I keep cutting you off.
That's all right.
I was just going to say, or you could get tested not once throughout the year, correct?
Yes.
Everybody
if
in the
you
regionals.
qualify, everybody that's at the games has done a test.
Yep.
Everybody that's at the games has done a test after regionals.
Yep.
At the games, you may not get tested. So I've been tested 4 out of 5.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
It's
at the
mainly
games,
the females that I've noticed big increase in their body size and strength over the last few years is just the American chicks. They're just a step above the Australian chicks.
Yeah.
And you look at the new people on the book.
Who's on them, Mac? Go on. Put yourself out there.
that Brooke girl, the blonde-haired one. I'm not a frother.
You say her name.
Brooke. I'm happy to. Brooke.
I know
Brooke
it.
you're talking about.
Yeah, that one. Yeah. And Briggs, a couple of years ago in the Open, she just looked huge.
She's not huge at all.
She's not huge?
Nah. She's a pretty small girl. I know she looks big on photos and videos and some photos, but you look at her in real life, she's like this. Like, she's got definition in her shoulders. But when you're standing next to the guys, the girls there,
All the guys look the same to me, to be
the
honest.
guys
It's just
don't
the
really.
American girls.
They don't look massive in person, except
Mm.
for Jason Kleeper. He's got triceps the size of my quads. But
Look at a
most
shelf
of
on his
them just
tricep.
look like normal, fit dudes.
Yeah.
Like they
Yeah.
don't look ridiculous. I
No.
know when you see some photos pop up and stuff, they look way bigger than they do in person. And same with the girls. Like Sam Briggs is one that I was like, when I saw her in person, like, oh shit, he's actually not
Right.
really that big at all.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, you kind of think of even yourself after a workout or in the middle of a workout, how much more jacked you look.
Yep.
You look so much bigger, and mid clean, mid deadlift, people look massive in
it's great.
photos. So that's all the stuff that you get. That's all the stuff
that's
you
all
see
they got.
floating around
That gets
Facebook
pushed
and
out,
Instagram and whatever, because they're the good photos. So
Bit of filter.
that's a good point, I think. I mean, the thing with steroids in any sport is it's probably rampant in most. There's fucking, if there's big sports like NBA, baseball, all the major American sports, there's a lot of money to do new ways to cover up the certain stimulants they're taking. The problem with CrossFit is it's such a new sport and it costs so much money.
Yeah.
It costs so much money to test. So I totally agree with you. I think the guys that are could be anywhere 500 to 100 would be the guys that would be not worrying about it, because I'm probably not going to qualify for the games, but I'm going to juice myself to the gills because I want to make it to regionals.
Yeah.
So I think that's...
Yeah, and they know they don't have eyes on them.
Yeah.
They're not going to get randomly tested or
That's
whatever. And just another process that they go through, there's a random testing list throughout the year. So I got an email probably about a year and a half ago saying you're on our list of athletes. You need to let us know where you're going to be from this month to this month, which it's every 3 months. I get an email now.
Yep.
I have to let them know whether I'm traveling interstate or whatever, and they can do a random test. That hasn't happened yet.
That's good for the sport, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah.
And I'm not too sure who else is on that from Australia.
Yeah, it might be... Is it just the top end guys are doing that with, you think, or is it like top...
I'd
150, stretching it
assume
out, or-
so, but I'm not too sure. I know they randomly test a lot of athletes in the US.
Yep.
But again, like you said, it probably costs them a lot of money.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I haven't been randomly tested in my gym or at home yet, but I'm on that list. I have to
But it's
let
always
them
in the
know.
back of your mind as well. It's,
Yeah.
it's not worth
Yeah.
it. But what about the grid people? Because that's obviously getting bigger and bigger. Are they tested? Do you know what's the deal?
I
there?
don't think they do testing, but I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I'm not entirely sure at all. I'm sure it'll come along soon once they I don't know, maybe it'll be like powerlifting or strongman. I don't
Something
know.
like that, yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
open, do whatever you want. What else was I going to say? Yeah, that random testing thing I think is a good deterrent. I know one guy posted, he was like, I've been randomly tested 4 times in the US. He's like, get off my back or something like that. Spend your money elsewhere or something. That's what he posted on Facebook.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Fake dick.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Didn't even put that into a sentence either.
And
Who's
the
it- who-
money in the sport as well. You say that, like, people can't go into too much effort to
devalue the face of the brand. The
No,
brand. Is that what you're gonna say?
know the people that are actually using drugs or whatever, or trying to hide it or trying to get through. That costs money. Like, you see what Lance Armstrong done. That's the extreme though. He put
Millions.
millions into it to stay clean. That money's not in our sport.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
It's if they're doing it, it's just
Backyard jobs.
Exactly. They're
Straight up
doing
the corker.
they're doing it. They're not going to a doctor, getting all these fancy drugs, whatever. But yeah, I think it's out there, but I don't think it's.
But they're the ones just at the local comp, just popping out of nowhere.
I reckon they're the guys trying to push through. They might get the guys that have just maybe done their first or second games and want to get to the top nice and quick. But yeah, I don't know. That's my opinion on it. I just give everybody the benefit of the doubt, and if they get caught, then you can finger point.
Yeah. Yep.
Cool. Tommy, what do you got for us?
Alrighty, the good, bad, the science. Are you filling us in? The good.
Oh, this jingle.
Come on, mate.
Coming to you from Tommy's news desk. It's the good, the bad, and the science.
That sounds pretty good through this. I'm up and about. Alrighty. So the good. This is coming straight from the BBC. I'm going to start that one again. Hey guys, I'm Tom. This is coming straight from the BBC, so you know it's genuine. A dinosaur was left in the middle of a high street, courtesy of some drunken pranksters, quote unquote, as believed. A 25-foot model Triceratops had to be removed from High Street. It wasn't a real Triceratops, by the way, just so we know. Had to be removed from High Street in God's Hill on the Isle of Wight, somewhere in England, after it was dragged from the Jurassic Garden, somewhere in England. Owner Martin Simpson said he was shocked to see the model appearing on social media over the weekend. That is bizarre. The dinosaur is part of Mr. Simpson's shop garden, where he sells prehistoric gems and fossils. I'm just going to quote this. He said, it takes about 5 blokes to move the dinosaur a couple of inches. So it was definitely a concerted effort, and drink was probably involved. I love that how he just put, and drink was probably involved, as though there's a couple of people just, you know what I'm going to do today? Dead sober, I'm going to get this and put it there. Bizarre. So my question, greatest drunk memory or greatest achievement with booze involved, have you moved a dinosaur? Have you not moved a dinosaur? Let's kick it to you first, Bob.
I have not moved a dinosaur.
I got one.
Yeah.
It's similar too because we stole something and moved it. This is so I had when I was 14, 15, 16. I had a gang, and it was called
Adventure Fit.
It's called the SA5. So we grew up in St Andrews Beach, and it was my 5 best mates, and we all lived about kind of 500 meters, a kilometre away. And the thing was, myself, Frey and Sage, the 3 of the boys, we lived really close to each other. The other boys lived really close as well, but they were technically beyond the boundary of St Andrews. So they were as St Andrews as it comes, but they technically lived in Rye.
Right.
So we always used to give them shit about it. We used to get stuck right into them. So what we decided to do, we got real sauced up this one night, and we came up with this grand plan. We're like, righto boys, let's let them sleep a night as true St Andrewsians. So what we've done, we're drinking beers at my place. I said, fuck it, let's go. We've grabbed shovels. We walked down to the Welcome to St Andrews sign.
Oh.
We've dug it out. It's got seriously like 500 mil by 500 mil pieces of concrete at the bottom, at the stumps of the sign. We've dug them out. It took all 5 of us to carry it. Do you know that guy? No. Took all 5 of us to carry it, and we walked it along the road, along this main street, Dundas Street, like a pretty busy road.
I know Dundas Street.
In St Andrews?
No.
So we moved it all the way. We fought along the way. We dropped it on our feet. We were abusing the shit out of each other. We were literally, Tommy and one of the other boys was they were about to punch on. And then we went to this major roundabout just before where the boys lived.
Browns
Road roundabout.
Bang.
And we
were
dug we dug it in, took the photos with a St Andrews sign. The boys got to sleep as St Andrews residents for a night, and then we moved on.
How good's that?
Yeah, it was fucking great.
Mac Teddy.
Question was?
So, greatest drunk achievement. Can be drugs? I just said drugs, didn't I? Jesus. Alcohol.
The roids?
Yeah, that's right. Got the water.
Alcohol. Listen, I've achieved a lot. Can't remember a lot.
Best thing you can't remember.
Listen, I've got a...
It was good.
I've got a G-rated story.
Sure.
A party bus a few years ago. We were on our way into the city, and we all had to stop off and have a leak. I decided to then strip off, jump a barbed wire fence and dove headfirst into a little pond. Not a pond, fucking little pond.
Yeah.
A dick pond.
Yeah.
Head first into a dick pond.
What is it? Dick pond?
Yeah, straight into it.
Sounds great.
Mouth wide open. Anyway, dove in, muddy as all hell, got back up, put on my white top, stunk like shit, went back into the city, partied my night away.
Nice. That's great. Very good. Love it.
That's great.
And Rob, no dinosaur story.
Well, we can go to Invitational last year, the after party.
Yep.
Tell us.
I ended up in Kara's pants and doing double unders in a hotel room.
Wow.
Man, when you said that, you led that away, Rob. Rob's partner, Shayla's just walked in. Went up in Karen's pants. It was all fucked
I
up.
put
Don't
her
tell Shayla.
pants
With a
on
double
my
under, right?
legs.
You did what?
Put her pants on my legs
Yeah,
and I got into her pants.
Yeah, right.
Whoa.
So, Khan and I...
Just probably always want to repeat that one for the listeners.
Khan and I were very drunk, and everybody went home to their hotel room. So we went and terrorised her, banging on her door, throwing ice at her door, so she finally let us in. And then we were just keeping her up for 3 hours because I just had like 4 Red Bull vodkas just as they closed the bar. So had plenty of energy.
Yeah.
So I put her pants on,
And
grabbed her skipping rope, put her weightlifting belt on, started doing double unders in her hotel room. Khan was just playing music, and we got complaints about being too loud and just being idiots.
Did
being
your
like
legs
boys.
this.
fit?
What's that?
Did your legs fit in?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
Loose,
got
man.
Same
Loose
size
in the
quads. Same
Very
size
loose,
quads.
I like the first version of the story.
Oh,
Yeah. That
Controversy!
Is, quote,
Yeah.
unquote, we got it! We got it! Cut! Let's go, boys! Women's Weekly. Alrighty, the bad. A little bit more serious. Harry Styles has won a court order to prevent the paparazzi from harassing him. The One Direction star, 19, had already attempted to persuade... 19? Oh, okay. This could be from 1987. Shit. Out of date story, but we'll go
One
with it.
Direction, man. They're pretty young, aren't they?
Oh, are they, is he 19 or is he...
Fine, I don't know.
One Direction, Harry Styles?
I have
He's
no
good,
idea
man.
who that is, mate.
Okay, very good. He'd already attempted to persuade a number of photographers to stop their behaviour voluntarily, but the talks had failed, forcing him to apply to the High Court for an injunction. His counsel, David Sherbone, confirmed. Now, my question, Rob, your involvement with the media has become increasingly more prominent, as with your success in the sport, both on and off the field. Do you have an issue with the media side to it all? I guess it's not really... I guess he'd be... more of a media personality if it was all in America and stuff. But do you have any sort of issue with, I guess, the media side to it? Yeah.
No, not really. When you say issue, what do you mean by...
I wouldn't say like paparazzi. Not any sort of harassment or all that sort of thing.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
you get sort of people probing you questions maybe at regionals and stuff, and it's just sort of gets a bit irritating or things like that.
I don't get irritated. Like, I think it's all part of it, and you should give that time to those people and put it out there for... Because most of the time at regionals, they're trying to put some content out to people that aren't actually there watching. So I think you should put that extra time in to get that content out and give it an insight to all the people that aren't actually there on the floor or behind the scenes. So I think it's a good thing. Yeah.
Yep. Beautiful.
They do it well.
Definitely.
CrossFit HQ, they definitely promote the sport really well.
Yeah.
And the final one's the science. It's not too university. I just said university again. I'm not on today. Universe is what I meant.
Not to universe, is that what you were meant to say?
I was meant to say not to.
It's not to universe was the correct sentence.
Yeah.
Grammatically correct. A therapy that retains the body's immune system to fight cancer has provoked excitement after more than 90% of terminally ill patients reportedly went into remission. White blood cells were taken from patients with leukemia, modified in the lab, and then put back. The data has not been published or reviewed, and 2 patients are said to have died from an extreme immune response. It's only a baby step, but the therapy is looking really, really positive. My question is more about ethics, gentlemen. Do you guys think there's an issue with modern medicine in terms of coming into that whole idea of natural human life, and are we prolonging life to the extent where it becomes unethical? Okay.
No.
No. Nice.
Nah. Why not? It's bound to happen. You can't stop it.
Yep. Done.
Yeah.
Rob, you got nothing?
You go first. You'll just interrupt me anyway.
So good. So Rob, I'll fill this one.
Well, I do have a something to say on it, I suppose. I don't think. So what are we talking? You're talking natural prolonging of life to living to like 120, 130, 150 years old? Is that kind of what you're
So modern medical science versus natural life. So natural life thinking, we're talking like 80, 85 versus 120, 130.
Yeah, so I just don't understand how logistically it works. It can work. Mm-hmm. So at the moment, we've got 7 billion people in the world. 2050, we're predicted to have 9 billion. We've got food shortages. We've got major global warming issues, which are due to pollution that the major cities and the major polluters put out. So if we've got, it's still the same amount of people, but there's going to be more people alive for longer. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So I think there's a whole range of problems with it, in my opinion, and it's the fact that there's going to be too many people on the planet. It's also going to be something that's only going to be for the rich and famous or the people with a whole ton of money. So it becomes say, the Western world.
So you're saying it becomes an issue of economics as opposed to ethics, I guess?
Well, I think it's ethically wrong because it's going to really affect the world in a negative way.
What about your mum has a chance to see your kids grow up for an extra 10 years, healthy, or maybe 20 years? I don't know however long this medical is going to, prolong the life. You would say, nah, thanks, mum.
I'm not saying that.
Medication.
I'm definitely not saying that. That's it's great. It'd be fucking great. Let's all live forever.
Yep.
That's part of the good thing about life is I think that it does end, so you have to fucking enjoy it. If we were immortal, it'd be fucked, I think. But prolonging life's good. I think it's fantastic. It just doesn't. I don't think it works. That's what I'm saying.
You don't think it works from an economics perspective?
Yeah.
Because there's more people, it's going to become...
More people, we need more food, we need to produce more energy.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And there's also going to be a real divide between the rich people who their life expectancy can go up to 140 years of age. This is in the interim. And then
You're not talking 140 though, Tommy.
No, I'm talking, an extra 20 years,
You're talking...
30 years.
But they will be able to do that. They will be able to do that in the next 30 years.
Nah, they're well off.
Growing organs and
100%
cartilage.
they will be able to.
Yeah.
Well off.
Mm.
It's
definitely an interesting one. Yeah. Rob, do you have anything, 2 cents?
Well, I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing.
Mm.
I didn't look into it as deep as you did, but...
Well, I'm a nerd.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I'm sort of the same as Macca. If you can add 10, 20 years on, good on you.
Well, let's put it into a... I just cut you off again.
That's all right.
Everyone's cutting you off. Sorry, mate. Let's put it into a CrossFit perspective. How do you feel about modern medicine and prolonging sort of cartilage wear and tear and things, and maybe guys that would have to retire sort of mid-30s are now going well and truly into their 50s? I know we have the Masters division and stuff, but do you think that's fair to maybe some of the younger up-and-coming athletes that don't get that chance because the veterans are... Do you reckon?
Well, if a 40-year-old's taking legal cartilage-enhancing supplements and a 20-year-old can to make sure he lasts till 50...
But he wouldn't need it at that age.
He's going to when he's 40, though.
Then everyone's on the same level.
So everyone's going up against Rich Froning at 90 years old. This is bizarre.
He's in the Masters. He's in the 70 plus.
The young guys have still got the same opportunity, but that will just happen for them 20 years later.
And it'll probably be better in 20 years.
Yeah, but...
Yeah, goes.
Oh, look, okay. Point taken. I was incorrected.
I reckon it's really interesting. Probably not great to go into it too long on this podcast, but I reckon it's super interesting. I definitely agree with you guys. I want everyone to live healthier and longer. I just don't think when push comes to shove, it'll happen. It's just going to create a lot more problems. That's what I think. Because I have, like you say, thought about it too much.
Yeah.
My view on that stuff is, though, like, it's going to happen. You can have a strong opinion on it, but really, in 30 years' time, it's going to happen. So I think we can move on.
Let it roll. Sounds good.
Yeah,
Done.
That was a long segment.
Huge segment.
It's like a 20-minute good, the bad, and the science. It was good.
Hopefully we've still got people listening.
It was good. So let's talk about some programming, so give people a bit of an idea of what you actually would do day to day.
Yep.
So for the listeners, maybe tell us about how you would structure, tell us like a day in the life of Rob. Your training, what you would do, what you would hit, when you would hit it, whatever.
Just the programming. Yep.
Yeah, let's talk about programming, what you're
Yep.
actually getting done.
So at the moment, it depends on the week. I've been alternating my weeks a little bit. Week 1 is more, I'll open up with some sort of lifting, do a little bit more lifting, and then hit a conditioning piece. But that conditioning piece I'll make up on the day. So whether it's actually workout, I'll just row or just run or do some burpees and ski erg or jump on the bike. I'll just decide that on the day. And then I'll finish with some accessory work building, in my opinion, the weak parts of my body. So what were the limiting factors in the lifts for the day? So if I snatched, what were the limiting factors?
Mm-hmm.
Is my back not strong enough? So I'll work on my back. Hammies, work on overhead positioning. So I'll just target certain things depending on what my weaknesses were in that specific lift. So that's sort of how week 1 is structured. So that can go anywhere from 2 to 3 hours, just depending on how much I get done. And the accessory work, I'll do the same. I'll just be like, I feel like doing that now. I'm going to do that, or I'm going to do this. So if it's snatch, it'll be more position work and also that overhead position. So like strength I'm talking about. So I might do SOTS press and stuff like that. And if I'm working on my clean and jerk, it'll be just trying to build a stronger body. So might do good mornings, back extensions, that sort of stuff, stiff-legged deadlifts, those sorts of things. Midline work as well for both of those lifts. Squatting 3 times a week, pressing a couple of times a week as well, deadlifting as well. So throwing all that stuff in there, and I've got my set days that I'll do those things. I'll usually Olympic lift heavy earlier in the week, and then I'll Olympic lift for a higher rep later in the week.
Right.
When I'm a bit more fresh, I'll get more out of it earlier, and then later in the week it's a lower weight, but I'll do more reps.
Yep.
I like to do 20 or 30 snatches at around an 80%. Like I like to do that for time. To me, I find consistency that way. I'll hit the bar even under fatigue. I'll make myself set properly. You must start to make mistakes, and then you have to fix them. You have to correct it. So it's whether it's holding your back position better when you're tired or faster hips when you're tired. Like everything just starts to switch on, and to me, it makes my lifting a bit more consistent.
So with that, so you're just touching on the snatches. So you're doing 30 snatches at 80% or so. Have you moved into, this is something that when I was still training CrossFit, I tried to do in my own training, was work at like 80%, but work well. So if I was doing that workout, 30 snatches at 80%, that would take me, I don't know, 10 minutes, and there would be no touch and goes. Every rep would be, but I'd be really puffing and panting, but I'd try and make sure the movement was crisp. Do you put a lot of that in your program? Because I used to have a problem with like, go balls to the wall. There's a time for that, for sure, because you have to do that.
Yeah.
But in your training, I kind of was of the opinion that you should slow it down, get your heart rate up, but move well. Do your gymnastics. You can't do single reps gymnastics. Do your gymnastics as fast as you can. When it comes to barbell and stuff, slow it down and move well under duress. Is that something that you're...
So I do both. So earlier in the week, it'll be more like make sure everything's perfect. Lower reps, so I might be singles or doubles, that sort of thing. But when I'm doing the 30, the goal is to get it done as quickly as I can. So that's what I'm aiming to do. And I'll hit that stuff pretty frequently, so I've got something to beat. So I'll know that I did it in, say, 6 minutes. Okay, I want to go sub 6 this time. And remember what happened last time, or where I could make those improvements. If I missed a couple, why did I miss them? Was I not aggressive enough with the hips or something like that? And that's usually the case. I did one yesterday. It's Chris Spieler's got a few workouts that he's written. The Icon Athlete, he calls it. I think it's his third one. It's 12 front squats at 225 pounds, 102 kilos, 9 clean and jerks, and 6 snatches. So I've touched that one a couple of times. Similar sort of thing, workout. And that's what I did yesterday. First we did our 12, and then the 405 class was starting. And I'm like, guys, stop. We're going to be too loud because we're just about to start our clean jerks. Let's stop. Let's wait for the brief to be finished. And everyone's like, are you fucking serious? We just did 12 front squats. And I'm like, it's all right. We'll rest 5 minutes. We'll go again.
Massive blue balls on the workout.
So we did our 12 front squats again, and I missed my first 2 snatches.
Yep.
And mentally, it's very easy to break down and go, fuck, I fucked my workout, especially because I did it 2 weeks ago. I knew what time I had to be.
Yep.
And then I just fired up. And you need to move faster off the floor. You need to get a bit more aggressive with it. I was just soft at the bottom, and it was there, but I was just missing it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I ended up getting 3. I'd do one, grab it, go. Do another one, grab it, go. I did 3 pretty quickly. After failing 2, I did 3 pretty quickly. Walked back, couple of breaths, and did another 3 pretty quickly. And I went about a minute 10 faster with 2 fails.
wow.
And I didn't fail. I didn't fail one at all last time.
Yeah, right.
Yep.
So just that switching on the mind, or telling yourself, I learned those things in those workouts.
Yep.
Staying consistent, but it's mentally staying consistent.
And how often
hitting
would you,
that bar aggressively.
How often would you repeat a workout to test that stuff?
Depends on what it is. Those sorts of things I repeat. I might do one that same workout every second week for 3 times.
Yep.
And then when I feel like I've made the improvement I want to on that, I'll switch it up. So I feel like there's something to learn, I'll do it again.
Yep.
I did a workout, it was 20 snatches. If you miss one, you go back a rep. So say you're going for number 15. You're supposed to be at 15, you missed it, go to 13. Because you're on 14, you go back one.
Yep.
So I did that at 225, 102. And I think it was 3 minutes in, I was on 3 reps. I kept getting one, miss one, get one, miss one. I was like, fuck, I was pissed off. And then again, mentally, I was like, I may as well just start again. But no, you keep going through. And then I did the rest of my training. And a couple of other boys came in a couple of hours later to do their training. And I'm like, I'm going to do it again.
I knew you were going to say that.
I'm going to do it again. So I jumped in with them, and I went 4 minutes faster, something like that.
Right.
Yeah. What was your time, quietly?
I think it was, I've done so many of those similar to, I think it was around the 6-minute mark.
Right.
So you don't look at that and go, I've just done X amount of snatches, my CNS might be fried, I'm going to jeopardise tomorrow's workout. Nah, fuck it, I'll do it again.
No, I felt good. I felt good physically and mentally to go again.
Yeah.
So I'll use it when I've got it.
Yeah.
And I won't push it if I don't have it. So if I feel good, feel like I've got the energy, I'll use it. If I don't, I'll back it off. So I'll base it off how I feel. And I think everyone's different in that way. So if someone that's writing a program for 50 athletes and structuring that into the program, it's going to be very different for each of those 50 athletes. Some of them can handle more than that, than what you're giving them, and some of them can handle less than what you're giving them. So.
And why haven't you ever sought out a coach, or you haven't got one now, or?
I've done it a couple of times, but I just like the programming too much.
Yeah.
Every time I've done it, I feel like I'm missing something. I just no, I want to go back. I want to go back to what I was doing. I want to go back to trying to figure it out for myself.
Yep.
So I really enjoy that. I like the experiment part of it, trying new things.
It makes you more aware of your body as well, so
Exactly.
you can adapt. And
Yeah. And like I said earlier, I'm happy to change things on the fly. I don't go, oh shit, I have to do this today. It's no, just change a little bit, try and get the same sort of thing out of it. Like if you're supposed to work on your shoulders, just do it in a different way.
And where's your template for that come? For your base work, you've got a rough template that you said you do and you alternate each week. Where's that come from?
So that was just an idea this year after the game.
Oh, true.
It was just an idea.
Yeah, you didn't speak to someone over at the States and they're doing this, or their
No,
coach said this.
I was just I spoke to Chris about it. I'm like, what do you reckon of this? He's like, yeah, it sounds pretty cool. I'm like, all right, let's try it.
Cool.
So then week 2 involves, okay, we're going to start with a CrossFit WOD.
Yeah.
Walk in the gym, hit a CrossFit workout. Bang. We might do another CrossFit workout straight after it. Or a little bit of a break, do another one. And then do some accessory work or some other little pieces that are more CrossFit specific. It's not building the body, it's like building capacity. So it might be max sets of pull-ups or pinch plate carries so their grip's a little bit better, or you're building capacity in certain weak areas rather than building strength in weak muscle groups or something. So that's the difference between the 2 weeks. Because it's so hard to fit all that in 1 week. That's why I was finding it hard to do. And then you feel like you have to do it.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to do this at all until next week. Or we're also doing alternating weeks for me is easier for me mentally as well. Because then when we hit the CrossFit stuff fresh, it's like we're going to go even harder, bring more intensity.
Yeah.
Rather than doing all this lifting or doing those 20 or 30 snatches, then hitting a workout after that. The intensity is not quite the same. Where in competition, you don't go and do some lifting and then do your WOD. You bring your intensity for that one workout that you're starting with. So I find it's been a good mix. It's been easier to fit more in because you're doing a lot of stuff. It's almost like you got 2 weeks to fit everything in instead of just one.
That's good.
So
Yep.
whether it works,
Yeah.
we'll find out soon.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's true.
It's just, that's what I like. I like to just muck around and try new ways. I think there's no right way. That might work for me, it might not work for somebody else. But
Did you feel like when you were, I don't know, did you ever have or train with like a set program and you came into the gym and like, I have to get this done? I know you said you sort of, post 2012, was it, that you started to make that change in your mindset to doing maybe taking a step back in terms of that approach. But I found that whenever I would try to train and it was this I was doing today, this I was doing tomorrow, maybe other people out there as well, I'd get in there and, you know, I'd probably go pretty half-assed. I'd just be by myself. And then you're like, oh, I'll do that tomorrow. And, you know, before you know it, you've got like a log jam of things you haven't done. And was that part of the reason why you sort of decided to make that move to just to sort of doing your own programming? And
yeah, and I
things
think
like that?
there's just that me not being so attached to the competition side as well, feeling like I'm missing out.
Yep.
So I think it's more my mental shift, or my focus has changed a little bit. So that's probably why I've changed this a little bit, is so I can feel better mentally and bring more to the table in my training. And I feel like I'm getting pretty good results from that. I feel like I flattened out a little bit last year, and I feel like I've made some good gains in areas that I was putting a lot of time and effort into, but they were sort of staying the same.
Yep.
So that's where I'm bringing that constantly varied back in, doing a lot of basic CrossFit stuff as well. So I'll jump into the class, one of our class workouts, even if it's very basic stuff, but I might do a workout before it to carry some fatigue into it. But you're still doing stuff that you probably wouldn't do, like just do kettlebell swings and box jumps and, you know, the basic stuff that you were doing all the time in 2011, 2012. Like that's your common stuff that you would do. Definitely. And it's fun. Yeah, it's fun to do it, and it's a good stimulus too. Yes. So I think that constantly varied stuff, I think a lot of people miss out on that.
Yep.
And what are you adding into your programming in prediction of what's coming up with the CrossFit Games?
Well, my prediction is that the pegboard's going to show up again. I know Castro said that, but I think the legless rope climbs in 2013 at the Games, there was a bit of an uproar about that, how dangerous it was or whatever. And then at the regionals the next year, it was in the regional. So
yeah,
that's great. That's just a middle finger.
Yeah.
Fuck you guys.
Yeah.
I reckon something like that, whether it's this year or next year, that'll show up at like regional level, something like that. But apart
in 50-degree heat,
50-foot legless rope climb.
Yeah. Apart from that, I
under
think
a pool of sharks.
laser beams on the head.
Yeah.
it's very hard to predict what that odd workout's going to be at the Games. Like,
But you're not practicing here. You're not getting Atlas stones into wheelbarrows or.
nah, not really.
Oh, that'd suck.
That'd
be the hardest workout.
I muck around with strongman stuff regularly. Like, I enjoy it. That's why I do it.
Are you on the strongman seminar stuff?
Yeah, I was. Every time they've come here, I've helped out.
Yep.
On that,
Gotcha.
so.
Do you have to be a strong man to be on the seminar stuff?
I think
that's a bit arrogant, Rob.
Yeah.
I thought you were wondering if you could get a gig.
Yeah, that's right.
Can you be a puny wimp and get
Tom, oncoming bus. Right.
So yeah, the programming stuff's such an interesting subject, and I think there's so many different ways to do it.
Yep.
And it's just so hard in CrossFit because we need to do everything, and everybody's different. Everybody's different. And if someone's feeling tired, I'm not hard on them or whatever. I'm like, all right, let's just change this a little bit, do that, bang, you're on. And they feel good about it.
Hey, so I got a guy, Thomas Tolhurst, who came on one of our VentureFit trips last year. Came to the Games, watched you perform, and he's got a question. Mind if you field it just while we're on programming and stuff. So his question is, hi Rob, New to CrossFit and really enjoying it. Would love to know how you maintain your high-intensity training without your body shutting down on you.
Yeah. So I get regular treatment.
Yep.
So I guess recovery's a big thing. And I also listen to my body. Going on what we just talked about is if it's not there, I'm not going to push it.
Yep.
The last couple of weeks I've had like a rib out a little bit, so I wasn't able to do my back squats when I was supposed to do my back squats. So I left it on the Friday. I did it on the Monday.
Yep.
So I caught up on it.
Very good.
And yeah, just I had to change a few things up depending on how I felt, and I do that all the time. If my shoulder feels a little niggly, I'll avoid stuff that makes it feel niggly until it settles down, and I'll get treatment, regular treatment. So last year I was seeing a chiro once a week and a myo once a week. Now I'm seeing one on 1 week, one on the other week, but I'm doing a bit more stretching throughout my week. So I'm on that ROMWOD site. I'll jump on that every night before bed.
This is romwod.com, is it?
Yeah.
This is the
They post.
mobility.
Yeah, they post like a range of motion workout every day.
Gotcha.
They post a full week, and you can just go through. It's like 20 minutes, some of them 15, 40 minutes, and I'll just do at least one of those every night. If I've got a bit more time, I'll do 2 back to back, and that's made a fair bit of difference. So, and moving well is a big thing.
Sure.
Being like what I was talking about with Olympic lifting earlier, understanding the lifts, knowing the lifts by feel. So if you can feel what's going on during a workout, you know it's not right, or you know it is right. So having that body awareness is a massive thing. Not having, because you don't always have eyes on you, you don't always have video on you. So falling back on how everything feels is the best thing you can do.
For sure.
Would you video yourself often?
I video myself with things I'm not sure about how it's looking, or something that I can improve on. Well, I can improve on everything, but something that's a bit weaker. Or I've got the boys around, like when it's lifting, I'll say, "Oh, what do you reckon of that?"
Yeah.
And then we'll have a conversation on how it felt to me by what they saw,
Yeah.
and we'll just sort of go, oh, "Okay, that sort of it felt like that to me," or it looked a bit different to how it felt. So then we can start to figure out what actually is going on.
Yeah.
So if it felt like something to me and they saw something different, we're like, okay, now you'll be more in tune with what it feels like next time.
Yep.
Yeah.
And what about nutrition? Obviously, that's got to help with recovery and, performing day in, day out. What's your overall diet look like?
So I did my first paleo challenge in 2010, February 2010. I've been eating that way ever since. Sauces and little bits and pieces break away from paleo, but overall I ate meat and vegetables, fruit, nuts, those sorts of things. So in the morning I'll blend up 4 eggs, 2 bananas, handful of nuts and vital greens, blend that up and drink that. And then for lunch I'll have meat and vegetables every day. Sweet potato is my main carbohydrate source. And then I'll train the Arvo post-workout protein with carbohydrate, so whether it's banana and also Progenics do a carbohydrate supplement, so I'll do that
Like
as
a waxy maize or something
So
like
get
that.
protein and carbs in together.
Yep.
And then I'll go home and eat dinner. So that's sort of my intake. But sometimes I have like a snack in between, a bit of fruit here and there. And if I'm hungry after dinner, like it's a big day of training, I have a couple more bananas and maybe whatever I can get my hands on. Shayla brings home chocolate.
What's your best cheat
I'll
meal?
have to get some of that in.
What's your favourite cheat meal? What's your go-to?
Probably ice cream.
Yeah.
Get some
What
ice
type?
cream in. Ben and Jerry's is pretty good at the moment.
Yeah.
Cookies and cream. Anything cookies and cream is pretty good for me. So, yeah, I eat pretty well.
Yep.
Most
Same
of the time.
stuff every day. Same pre-workout meal every day. Same post-workout.
Yeah, so I keep it the same. One of our members has just started making meals.
Cool.
And her meals are so good. They're awesome. It
You
tastes
get a
like
plug on here if you wanted
Yeah, I
to.
was just going to
Plug
say.
her on the radio.
she's not ready yet.
Ah.
She's just got in the process of getting a factory set up and stuff, but
www.tbc.com.au.
Yeah. When she's ready to go,
Let's look that up.
I'll plug it up. But yeah, that's been really helpful because I don't get home to 8:30, 9 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
So having the meals, a good meal
Yeah.
that tastes good, never get sick of them, ready to go, it helps a lot. So
I'm on the Muscle Meals Direct at the moment.
Yeah.
Same deal. And they're frozen, so they stay, thaw them out, and they're pretty awesome. I'm pretty much just giving them a plug, so maybe chuck us a couple of free ones. Let's be serious about it.
Yeah.
Thousands of listeners. So your nutrition. So I wanted to just ask, so do you do zone portions, or zone? Do you eat the zone way with paleo, or do you just kind of eyeball what you're going to eat and hope you're getting it in for the day? You kind of know.
it's pretty close.
Yeah.
I've done zone before, but probably getting more protein in than what it says.
Mm-hmm.
So for the meals that I eat, it's probably should be 150 grams of chicken or beef, where it's more like 200 and something,
Yeah.
250, 300 even. So
Nice juicy one.
it's a lot more. Yeah,
A
it's
big
lot-
live chicken.
Yeah, the biggest chicken I can find.
Yeah.
Aussie one, so. Yeah, cool.
So it's zone portions. But I definitely think of protein, carbs, and fat every time I eat though.
Yeah.
That's like that breakfast shake that I have. My carbohydrates are the bananas, proteins, the eggs, and my fat's the nuts. So
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
I do the same
Fat
thing
nuts.
from fat
Yeah.
nuts. Big fat nuts. Sorry.
Brazil nuts.
Big Brazilian fat nuts.
We're talking about testicles or not?
That's what I have for breakfast.
I did the zone diet a little bit. I did like a 3-month. I did more than 3 months on the zone diet, but it was probably 2 months actually. It was a food diary.
Yeah.
Where I wrote down absolutely everything that I ate. And over that 2-month period, I figured out how many grams I needed for one block of protein, across all the proteins, carbs, fats, and then it was kind of tattooed in my brain from then on. And now I'm a weightlifter. I've been a weightlifter for 2 years. I just try and eat a lot of food, basically.
Yeah.
I still eat pretty well, but I'm the same as you. I'll just straight out, if I have, for example, a steak and a bunch of sweet potatoes with some broccoli, I'll eat that, and then my mind will go, fuck, I need to get some macadamias in. So that was really good for me. The zone diet, actually, just doing that food diary helped me, for one, eyeball, so I know how much food is how much food, or how much, macronutrients.
Yeah.
And then having that conscience of like,
Yeah.
I want to try and get all 3 macros in every meal. It's carried over now into my life, and I think I'm a little bit healthier and a little bit better performing because of it.
It's definitely good to do for at least a week or two, just so you learn those things.
Mm.
You know how much protein, how much carbohydrates, how much fat you should be eating. So I use an example of chicken and broccoli. People have that a lot if they're especially trying to watch their weight. But are you getting enough carbohydrates? So if you were having 150 grams of chicken, you'd need 15 cups of broccoli to go with it to get the right amount of carbohydrates.
Broccoli farm.
So it's good for you, but it's not necessarily giving you the energy that you
That's
need
right.
to get through your training. So it's a good thing to do to learn how much of each thing you should be getting in. So
For sure. We good? I think we maybe go to Booker Creek.
Creek.
Yeah.
Short, sharp, hook, creep. Creep. Helpful voices. Okay. This is really weird.
Go, Tommy.
Plug us in.
No. We got the.
Oh, that's Robert did it. So on Reddit, I was on Reddit, and I don't know. I don't know what I was doing. I don't know why I was on Reddit. I'm never on that bloody website. But I found this little story. It's literally like a 3 sentences here. Helpful voices. I'm just going to read it. While on holiday, a woman referred to by the British Medical Journal in 1997 as AB. So for the woman, she's called AB for the purpose of the story. Heard 2 voices in her head telling her to return home immediately. Back in London, the voices gave her an address that turned out to be a hospital's brain scan department. The voices told her to ask for a scan as she had a brain tumour and her brainstem was inflamed. Though she had no symptoms, a scan was eventually arranged and she did indeed have a tumour. After an operation, AB heard the voices again. We are pleased to have helped you. They said goodbye. AB made a full recovery. Has anyone experienced this? I had no question to go with this, but I thought that was crazy. I couldn't believe it. Bill, I remember you saying something about a tumour.
What?
I'm joking.
I actually zoned out.
Yeah.
You're like, what did you say?
No, that was good.
That's insane.
So, I actually didn't listen to any of that.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, man. I was looking at what we had next.
first
I'll
of
tear it
all, that was much shorter than last week.
Wasn't
so
it?
Thanks very much. Tommy. And is there a question to that, or is that
There is
just it?
absolutely no question.
Okay, good job.
Oh, God.
No, I haven't experienced that.
But you have moved a
Have you?
dinosaur, haven't you?
Sweet.
So we
that
just talked
was-
about some recovery. Let's get into Rob Forte as a owner of multiple boxes, and how do you fit everything in, and how's the business side going?
Well, it is definitely a challenge. The way I get through it is I prioritize everything. So how much time in the day or how much time and energy I put into each thing. So I have a priority list.
And you do that daily, weekly?
More on sort of like a monthly basis.
Yep.
And then I'll have a daily routine that will sort of keep me to that. So I'll have my set classes that I'm supposed to take, and obviously that'll keep me accountable being involved with the business, and I'll have time in the day to pay the bills and do all that sort of stuff behind the scenes. And then when it hits, say, 2:30 p.m., it's time to train.
Yep.
And then I've got until pretty much 6:30 p.m. to get that done.
Yep.
So on the nights that I've got to take the classes, I'll make sure I'm doing that, make sure my training's done a little bit earlier. But on the days where I feel like I've got a little bit more energy, like I talked about earlier, I'll use that and put more time and effort into that. Running competitions as well is a little bit time consuming, the organisation of that. I'll make sure that organisation time fits in to those slots that I've got throughout the day, and that comes into it's pretty much from like 11 a.m. till that 2:30 p.m. is my time to organise all that stuff. So yeah, I think just having a routine and sticking to it definitely helps, and rather than just being scattered. What I was doing when I first moved into our house, we just got it built, I was, in my spare time, I was working on the house, doing landscaping and stuff and bits and pieces, and that was taking over the time that I was supposed to be working on the business.
Yeah.
So I realised I was doing that a little too much. I'm like, okay, house time is on the weekend.
Yeah.
So for me to work on my house, okay, it's going to be Saturday arvo, Sunday morning arvo, whatever.
Yep.
So just prioritising all that stuff in that way, and having my set days and times for everything.
Do you have anything like? Do you have a written up kind of spreadsheet schedule, or you just wing it? You just wing your tasks and just try and get them all done.
I just I just wing it. Stick to a routine, and it makes it pretty easy. You know what you got to do. If it's a daily routine, that's what I like. I like having that daily routine when we have public holidays and stuff. It sort of stuffs up my routine, because I'm like, okay, I should be in the gym at this time doing this. And then, it's
We got no mates, don't you?
so it sort of stuffs up when you still got stuff to do. Like, you still got to get stuff done.
Yeah.
And like, so I don't really have holidays.
I think all
my
business
holidays
owners probably feel the same way.
My holidays going to the games. That's the only time I get to switch off from the business and go and train, eat and sleep, and that's it.
Yeah.
It's not the go train program, do all this other crap, and then
I feel you, man. I think Mac's probably the same. Anyone that's owning a business, especially young businesses.
Yep.
I mean, you've only really, 4 years, 5 years? You've had the boxes, or a box?
Coming up to 6.
6, yeah.
So
6, okay.
April will be 6 years for CrossFit Frankston, and then Dandenong we start October 2014. So we coming up to 2 years this year.
Yeah, cool.
So it's challenging, but you make it work.
And
Just
what's your
prioritising.
main role as a business owner of CrossFit Frankston? And I know you said before, earlier offline, you said you program for sort of 3 portions of it here, Dramana and
Dandenong. Yep.
So you obviously do the programming for that. What else is your job title and role?
So just payroll, all that sort of stuff, managing the business, making sure I give feedback to the coaches so they're always getting better.
Yep.
Feedback, answering phones, emails, all that sort of stuff. So all of that.
Answer your own phone. Well, so do I, but...
Yeah. So those guys, just make sure that they they do all their stuff better and get better at what they need to do. So just overseeing and also taking classes. So I'm taking more classes than I was last year because my sister moved to Darwin. Her husband decided to get back in the army and move to Darwin to try and save our country. Got better things to do.
What a man.
Yeah.
So I like to, we spoke with James Newbury a few weeks ago, and I think there's a lot of people out there that are probably thinking about taking the plunge, becoming an affiliate owner, turning their passion into their job. What do you think's the most important pieces you have to put into place early on to have a successful affiliate, or what challenges as well did you come across that you could elaborate on?
So what I'm seeing is that people are excited early about it. They are, from the outside looking in, they think it's an awesome lifestyle and all that, and don't really think about it being a business, and that you need to put time into it so it's successful and so it grows. So I think if you're going to commit to it, make sure that you're ready to run a business. Do all the right things. Be learning all the time, trying to make it better all the time. Do some research before going into it. How much is it going to cost? Is the area, the population, are you going to get enough members in based on how much rent's going to be and all that sort of stuff? Are you actually going to make a living from it? Not just somewhere to train and just get by. So
there's so much of that, so much lifestyle.
Yeah,
I think out there, obviously through Adventure Fit, I've seen tons and tons of gyms. I would do the rounds, going and setting up promotionally at gyms all around Melbourne, dozens and dozens. And talking to affiliate owners, there's so many guys, girls out there that, just look at it as, and it is a great lifestyle, obviously. Dealing with people, you're just shooting the shit all day when you're in class time, but there's money to be made and a business to be run. And there's a lot of people out there that probably aren't doing the most important thing and making money.
Yeah, I think if you're not going into it with that mindset that it is a business and you want to grow it and it's more of a lifestyle choice, that'll burn out within 3 to 5 years.
Yep.
That novelty will wear off, and it'll start to be hard especially if you're working another job, and then that novelty will wear off. It'll no longer be fun, and where if your goal is to make it better and you can see that success and it is growing and you're moving along the way, that's motivating to keep going and keep doing it. So
definitely,
just I guess going into it the right mindset that all those things will come with it, but you have to treat it like a business and do all the right things.
If I can just plug something there, you're right on the money about 3 years. My gym's about 3 years young, and definitely hit that burnout stage. And what just ignited my flame recently is we had a seminar with the Affiliate Solution, and then we did a 3-day course with them, and we went from turning it into a hobby, that lifestyle factor that you thought about 3 years ago, changing that into making it a successful business and different things we changed behind the scenes and just a different outlook on it, and it was fantastic. So if there's any new gym owners out there, or even existing ones you've been open for a while, definitely the Affiliate Solution is a fantastic sort of source out there to help CrossFit gym owners change their mindset and grow their gym.
Yeah,
I've heard nothing but amazing things. Wilbur did the Affiliate Solution. He loved it as well.
Yeah, very good.
Do you think CrossFit's getting to like a critical mass? So you're probably good. You've got your established. Obviously Danny Nong's relatively new, but you yourself are established. You've run a successful gym. Danny Nong's, I think, going to be sweet. But do you think it's... I read some stuff recently. I'm not following CrossFit as heavily as I was when I was doing it and coaching it. I read that there's been somewhat of a decline. It's probably not a decline, but a decline in the growth, because it was obviously growing at exponential rates, which is great. Yeah. Do you think it's getting to the point where it's going to hit like critical mass and gyms are going to start failing? Or what do you see in the future? Because there's no franchising, there's no district. You can't say, hey, it's fair to have one gym in this suburb and you've got X amount of people that can become members. You can run a successful business. There's none of that to portray.
What are you trying to say, Bill?
to protect anyone.
I was way off.
I kept saying protract. So there's no boundaries to protect anyone in that case, where do you see that heading, and you know, where do you see that going?
So I think there's going to be more and more people wanting to go to a CrossFit gym. I think that hasn't dropped off. I think there's more and more people seeing it, interested in it, especially with the game, seeing it on TV, and they get interested. So I think that side of it's all healthy, good.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think you're a bit right with the being too many gyms in a certain area, or people just going into it not really thinking about what they're doing. They're just going, oh yeah, there isn't a gym within 5 minutes of that one. It's just more like a hobby type thing.
Definitely.
They're not thinking about the numbers. They're not thinking about business. So then that 3-year mark, they either sell it off and get that another person that's sort of excited about it.
Sucker them in.
And go through that same sort of process. Or that may not be the case. Someone might actually come in and turn it around and compete with that other gym down the road. So I think it can go either way. But I think either gyms will shut down or sell off because of those people that aren't going into it for the right reasons.
Yeah.
So I think that's the only, because it is pretty easy to set it up.
Yeah,
It's not a hard thing to set up.
There is.
But yeah, you can make a mess of it pretty quickly.
There is positive. I saw one gym owner once that did put a positive spin on it. It wasn't a bad outlook. That was, if you do have a gym set up directly beside you, then their marketing, their results, their word of mouth is going to kind of benefit you. So there is positives to it, but I mean, I'm not quite of that opinion. I think
as someone gets more into their journey of CrossFit, they start looking around.
Yeah.
You know, if they're not getting the coaching or if they're not getting guidance or whatever, they'll start looking elsewhere. And then if there's, we operate on word of mouth. So if someone's talking good about another gym, they're going to go and try it. And if it's better, they're going to stay there. So I think if you are the better operator, you'll end up getting more people to you. Even if someone opens down the road and they get a bunch of people, I think a couple of years down the track, those people will start looking around and just gotta hang in there and keep being better and have the attitude that you're going to be the best, and you haven't reached that. You can always be better.
Yeah.
So you always got to look at ways how can it be better, and listen to your clients too.
Yeah.
Listen to their feedback. Listen to the ones that whinge all the time because they're the ones that are willing to give you feedback.
For sure.
And yeah, just you take the bits that are showing up more often than not.
Yeah. Cool. Couldn't agree more. Alrighty. You good? What do we go? Are you good, mate?
Yeah,
we
good.
go
9 from.
9. Alrighty. So so what we'd like to do to finish off, or towards the end, Rob, we have 9 from 9, which is 9 questions. 3 from Mac, 3 from myself, 3 from Tommy. You have a minute to answer the questions, so we don't want to try and
Pretty strict as well, mate.
yes, actually we've never
A minute each question.
never run a clock.
Yeah.
But
We've
Let's
never
run a
gone-
clock.
Yeah.
should we run a clock? Get the clock
Absolutely
going
run a
today?
clock.
Alrighty.
And then after this, we'll do 9 workouts.
9 workouts.
Yeah,
Yep.
9 1-minute workouts.
With 140 kilo bicep curls.
Alrighty, so Mac normally starts us off. So Mac,
Your morning ritual.
Get up, have a shower, get changed, make my raw egg banana shake.
You have a shower.
Some days, no, every day I have a shower. So yeah, that's pretty much what I do.
What
have
time
that.
do you get up?
Depends on the day. So if I'm taking the early morning session, I'll be like 5:20. If I'm taking the 9:30 session, I'll be about 7:30, 8 o'clock. And if I don't, it'll be around 8 o'clock. Yeah, because I get home late, get to bed late, so
30
I'll
seconds.
try and get my 8 hours sleep.
Done.
good stuff.
Like 3 from you.
Yeah. Do you meditate?
I played around with it, not anymore. I just do my stretching routine off ROMWOD, and there's some breathing in there, which is my meditation, but I don't think too much about it.
You didn't like it? Couldn't get into it?
I like it. I feel like I got a pretty calm mind as it is. Like, my emotions aren't up and down. I'm pretty chilled out, relaxed.
And the last one is the best date you've been on, or best date idea that you are wanting to go on.
Best date
Yeah. So you're going to take
Man, woman,
with a female.
Doesn't have to do with the female.
animal.
We're open-minded here.
Yeah, we're fine here, if anything. Best bloke you went on a date with.
I can't even remember the last time I went on a date.
Yeah.
Valentine's
with-
Day was like 5 days ago, Rob.
Yeah, I ran a comp instead.
Fair enough.
I did a what?
Fair enough.
Shayla gave me flowers. I gave them back to her. I was like, here you go. She goes, can't do that. I'm like, yes, I can. I don't want them. They're
What's the
mine
opposite-
now.
What's
I'll
the
give
opposite
'em
of romantic?
back. Yeah.
Horror?
Bob.
Horror.
Bob.
Good. Oh, good stuff. My question. So, what's your favourite part of the world you've ever been to? Can be a country, can be a city, can be a small town, can be anywhere.
Well, I haven't really been around much. I've been to the US 7 times, New Zealand once, Bali
Yep.
once, and just to Europe once before. But I'm going to say France. I went to Val Thorens, it's called. It's
Okay.
a mountain in France. I did some snowboarding, and that was probably the most epic place I've been to.
Nice.
Took some photos, but doesn't do it justice, especially when you're on top of the mountains that have 3.5K runs on them. So that's first time in Europe, and that was probably one that sticks out most to me.
Epic. That's great. Same thought process. Your dream destination again can be anywhere. Place that you just have in your mind that you want to hit, you want to cross off your bucket list.
I'm not really. I don't really think about travel too much, but it'd be somewhere similar to a mountain in France or something like that. Maybe a mountain in Europe somewhere else, but I don't have a specific destination. I like to get out and do stuff.
Yep.
I don't like to necessarily go around and sightsee too much. I like to do a physical activity. I can sightsee for a day and then I'm done.
Yep.
I want to go and do something. That's why I
for
decided when I was in Europe to go and snowboard.
Yep.
And not look at churches and
So you're more of a
all that
I'm the same man.
that sort of
I
stuff.
can't,
Yeah,
I can't stand.
It's boring.
I mean, I went through Europe and saw all the Victorian and Edwardian architecture. It's like it's nice for a day, and then
Yeah.
it's like
Could
fuck,
do it
how
for a
many
day
of
and
these
then-
buildings have I seen?
Yeah.
I mean, I do like architecture. I went to Dubai for a couple of days just to see the architecture in Dubai.
Yeah.
I did a stopover, so it's cool. But yeah, I'm with you
10
hard way
seconds.
rather.
What's that?
4 minutes.
Cool. So you're more of a you want to get out in the mountains rather than sit on the beach.
Pretty much, yeah.
Cool. And last question. If you are stranded on a beach on a deserted island and you've got 3 things that you can take with you, this is entertainment's sake, so you've got water and a toothbrush and food. What are the 3 things that are going to keep you sane?
Wi-Fi.
Wi-Fi.
Oh.
You're going to have something.
He's an
So I-
internet man.
There's the
So I
hub.
can I can keep programming.
Okay, that's 2. That's going to need to be 2 because you're going to need something to put that Wi-Fi in.
Yeah.
Wi-Fi, Wi-Fi.
It was funny when we were in went to Mexico after the games one year, and I got so pissed off at the hotel people because they said they had internet and it wouldn't work. I had to get my programming done, and I was
Yeah,
going off at them. So
Yeah.
that's why I said that. That's why it came to mind.
Mexico for you. Where'd you go in Mexico?
We went to what's up north, Cancun.
Cancun?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Cancun. We went there for 4 days.
Cool.
Yeah, it was a lot of relaxing by the pool and stuff, which is
Yeah.
pretty boring.
Yeah, sweet. It's the
I didn't really
opposite
enjoy
of what
that.
most people do in Cancun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Relaxing by the pool, programming in Cancun.
Yeah.
Who does that?
All right, you got 2 more things though. You
Got my Wi-Fi.
you're gonna need an iPhone or a computer. I'm gonna have to
Yeah.
break it to you, man. You can't just Wi-Fi
Wi-Fi.
the programming across. Jedi mind tricks.
All right. I'll take my phone, so I've got
Okay.
my stopwatch, so I can do my workouts on that as well.
Boom.
Yep.
Give me a. I don't need a pillow. Sand stuff it up. Just give me a set of rings.
Okay.
Yeah, give me a set of rings.
Oh, that's good. I'm happy you said, I don't need a pillow. Oh, I love what's going on in your mind there. I don't need a pillow. Got my clothes.
Yeah.
Oh, very good.
Cool, Tommy.
All right, Roberto, chess or snakes and ladders, and why?
Chess.
Good. Why?
More strategy.
I like it. Favorite Harry Potter character?
I don't watch Harry Potter.
Oh,
Shayla watches it all the time. I'm like, fuck off.
oh,
I don't
that
watch
is-
it.
that's, I thought we were making a connection. You can't be that bad. I love Harry Potter.
I've watched like half of one a few times.
And you just had it?
Oh, I just don't get into it. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. It is very fake. It's not very realistic.
Shut up, Tony.
And finally, mate, if there were 3 people dead or alive you can invite to dinner, who would they be and why?
Chad Reed. Do you guys know who that is?
No.
I do, yeah. He's a motocross rider.
Yeah, motocross, supercross guy. He's one guy that I still follow. He's pretty much the best guy to come out of Australia in the US, and he's stayed at the top for quite a few years. He's one of the old guys now. He's still giving it to him, so I'd invite him. Someone I looked up to in our sport, so Rich Froning.
Yep.
He can sit at my table.
Yep. Sounds good. He can sit on your lap, probably.
Yeah.
Feed him. What kills people?
Pesticide?
Feed him pesticide.
You've already met him though. He's a nice guy.
He's your,
Yeah, I've
pesticide
met him
Froning.
quite a bit, and we hung out a fair bit at the Invitational because we went out to a few dinners. I actually sat at the same table, and
There you go.
so yeah, they're all, like I said, they're all nice guys and easy to get along with, just normal people, and just exercise really quickly, pretty much.
Yeah.
Third person.
Third person. Dead or alive, remember? You can have a dead body there if you want.
Dead body there.
You used that joke last
I
week.
did, but I thought it was funny. Shit, I need more gags.
Same result.
Oh, the third. Sorry, mate.
Really hard one.
I'll come if you want.
I'll just
Come on, Bill. Give the man a chance.
Come hang out.
I'll just get another sports star because I reckon I could. I've watched a fair few of his videos and how he thinks and how he talks and mindset and all of that. And there's a lot of stuff out there. Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
Oh,
Great one.
Absolutely.
Fantastic. He's a
So-
superstar, isn't he?
He is
Yeah.
I watched a video of him once, and he was being interviewed, and he'd say, I can't remember if this is the facts or not, but I seem to have some memory that he was, Tiger Woods was at his house. Does that sound right? Does anyone know? Very
You're
good.
telling
Tiger Woods was at
story
his
names.
house. They went to sleep.
Yeah, I
and
think he
then,
was sleeping with a maid.
Yeah, it's probably,
That is-
probably was. Yeah, he actually slept with Michael Jordan. Geez, that's a story. And apparently, I think it was Tiger Woods. Apparently Michael Jordan woke someone up at like 2 a.m. in the middle of the night and said, all right, mate, we're going to go and train. And Michael Jordan and his basketball court had all these cones set up. And he was like, all right, you stand there, you stand there. He'd had all the cones set up of where the team that he was going to play next weekend was going to be. And at 2 a.m. in the morning, he was practicing all this strategy and all these drills. So, how good.
Yeah. That's Kobe Bryant. I'd watched the Kobe Bryant documentary. I think he's just done everything to a T that Michael Jordan did. Because
Yeah.
same story. We
Right.
wake up on a road trip and go cross people up in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
Come and train with me.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Insane work ethic.
Yeah, I think it's just being obsessed with what they do and
Yeah.
doing everything they can all the time. Like that's what I was saying to you when I've got time outside of the gym, I'm still researching what I can do in my training and
Of course.
how I can make it better, learning new things.
You probably, to be at the top of any sport, you probably don't get to live a totally normal life. You have to be somewhat obsessed,
Yeah, you
I
do.
think.
Normal.
It has
yeah,
to be on your mind a lot of the time.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You
Normally, it's a
can't-
really subjective term, though, isn't it? I mean, to them, it's, it is like, this is my life, and I absolutely love it. Otherwise, I
Yeah.
wouldn't be doing it.
Yeah.
But you've got people chasing you. You've got to stay in front.
Exactly. Yeah.
If you're not doing it, someone else is, and that's why they'll be better than you.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. And you have to want to stay in front. Absolutely.
So that's 9 from 9. So pretty much anything else, boys? We good?
Did you want to plug anything, Rob?
No.
CrossFit Frankston? Yourself?
Your
No,
competitions? Give us. We got it. Anything you want to?
Let's do one of the comps. So we've got a teams comp coming up at the Melbourne Fitness Expo.
Yep.
So we've got teams of 3 guys, 3 girls, and they're giving us a fair bit of space to run it. So it's good for CrossFit community to put CrossFit out there among all the other disciplines in the fitness industry. So I'm going to release details on that pretty soon, within the next week or 2, and try and get as many people involved as we can. And Reebok's going to get behind it and pump a few dollars into it. So it should be a pretty good event.
And the details will be on Reebok CrossFit Frankston's Facebook page and your website.
So I'm just in the process of launching a website, robforte.com.au and robforte.com. .co because someone else has got .com.
Oh,
Really?
I've emailed them to try and buy it off them, but pretending I'm somebody else.
yeah.
But yeah, so I'll release a flyer on Facebook off my own platforms and
Yep.
with the details of where to go to register, and then after that, I'll have some comps after regionals and that sort of stuff. So
Alrighty, cool. So, and where can people find you? Any social media plugs? Your Instagram or Facebook? Anything that you want to plug there as well?
my Instagram's just Rob_Forte, and Facebook, just search my name and you'll find me.
Boom.
Sounds good.
Alrighty. Well, thanks for coming on the show, Rob. That was a good chat. Hopefully all the listeners got a lot out of your day-to-day, your programming and nutrition and stuff. I'm sure people could find something that they can use in their training going forward. And that's a wrap.
Beautiful.
Thanks for having me.
Hey, hope you liked that one, guys. That was a good little expose into what it's like at the top of the heap of CrossFit worldwide. Thanks to Rob for getting on the podcast there. You guys want any show notes, any tips, any links from anything that we had in that show, make sure you head to www.adventurefittravel.com/podcast. That's where you'll find all the show notes and all the juicy stuff. Make sure, though, guys, you jump on our mailing list also. So, same deal, www.adventurefittravel.com/podcast. Jump on our mailing list. What you will receive is all of our show notes from all of our shows. You'll also get blogs from our 40 bloggers. You'll get a $250 travel voucher to travel with Adventure Fit Travel, and you'll get lots of cool stuff as well. Make sure, if you like that show, to jump on and subscribe on our iTunes. Click the big red subscribe button. That way you won't miss a show. We'll be coming one a week at least from now on, and we got some really cool guests lined up, so make sure you hit subscribe so you're in the loop. And lastly, we want to thank our sponsors, because if it wasn't for them, we never would have got this podcast off the ground. So, they are Atlanta Orchards. Check out their Kanzi and Green Star apples and ask for Atlanta Orchards at all your local greengrocers. Loxam Solutions, a boutique consulting and business support company focused on business consulting and commercial services. You want to build your business, build it with Loxam, www.loxamsolutions.com.au. And NDO Sups. Thank you, NDO Sups. For all your supplement needs, guys, check out www.ndosups.com and check out and throw in ADVF radio as you purchase to get 10% off. Well, that's pretty much it for us. That's it for me, and see you guys next week.
Discovery Roger, go for deploy.